and how long they've been surveilling you under the skin with the body area network, because for whatever reason that doesn't make sense to you. Okay, what I would encourage you to do is listen to these two short clips. The first guy is going to lay out for you why this Real ID bait and switch is ridiculous. And Whitney Webb, like her or not, I don't care. She's laying out very succinctly for everyone the company orientation that is real in cyber, biological security. Here on the channel, we've shown numerous government documentation, contracts, all the different ways they watch, with something called the Trillion Sensors Network, which is connected to the Department of Commerce on your cyber physical backbone. Now, those phrases may be completely unfamiliar to you, but to these industries, these companies, and these employees, that's exactly what they're logging into. And see, here's the problem. Your blockchain people lied to you, or themselves, or both. They're not free on Web3 in some rando dimension, playing with their Marvel comic books and their peer-to-peer. Why any of these professional people ever believed that they were free from the national security state and cyber security because their blocks were transparent. I don't know why they believed that. It's not true. It's never been true. There's something called infrastructure, hardware. The way the internet was built and still is running, and I don't mean legacy systems, okay? So, these sensor networks are the Trillion Sensor Network, wireless sensor networks, the Golden Dome, all these wireless sensor networks that are using hybrid mesh networks or 802.15.5 mesh networking. They talk to satellites, cell phone towers, human bodies as nodes on the network. What network? Now it's called the DODIN. Previously it was called the Global Information Grid. Previous to that, the Sentient World Simulation. So when you tell people that, oh, we need a real ID, but oh yeah, it's just a minor inconvenience, then we'll get a retinal scan, facial ID, but oh, that's all we're using. No, they've been under the skin with human bodies for cyber, biological, security, with DHS and biosurveillance. They don't share. National security doesn't come out there and tell you what they're doing, like the bombers and the spy planes. One day you'll find out. In the same way, since 2011, they have electronic health records with the W-band blockchain, making big old money on biomedical. What's that? The ability to log into your body with your own cells, under the skin. Welcome to 2012, Medical Body Area Network. They just walk right in. As a doctor or a nurse, they get black box technology, meaning that they get a piece of software on their phone and usually some sort of security device that allows the routing of where all the signal goes to be nice and quiet, only for national security, local security, whatever cyber security. And then they log into human bodies for biological signal data, called biosignal data. Fix your pacemaker, your insulin pump, medical implant communication system since 1999. Mandated worldwide today with two things: ultra wideband on human body communication. So if you think the Real ID is just a little paperwork inconvenience, they've been at this since 2005. And when we look at the kill box on the Global Information Grid, that would be electronic warfare to target your bioelectricity with your body area network, 2005. That's network-centric warfare, which we're under today. So those of you that still don't understand that you are not decentralized, you are more enmeshed than you've ever been. And those of you that still don't understand, you've been lied to. By who, for what, I don't know. I'm not you. But computer networking, hardware, infrastructure, orientation, NatSec doesn't change because a bunch of people lie about peer-to-peer. the logical link layer, or the MAC IDs, of which there are several that are already connected since 1995 commercially for companies. Okay? So your Web3 fantasy, where you thought you were all just by yourselves, it's never been built that way. It's never run that way. They had it running before they handed it to you to build with the GitHub, with PhysioNet for HHS. Now, if you're curious about any of that, I have videos on the channel. I have videos on the Rumble. But one thing is for certain. If I were in your shoes at any level, professionally, financially, I would get educated on that body area network, the different companies involved, because just like Whitney explained, with deregulation, that means that the government themselves, they didn't give you a way to go to your doctor or anybody and talk about anything. No, it's proprietary. That means a company runs it. You ain't suing them. Or their AI software that says you did something wrong. No grounds. Now, if, again, these people that have been BSing, as long as I've been 3 years now going, why are you lying about this stuff? It's super easy. Why wouldn't you just tell people? Because if people knew that you were already under their skin, they'd probably be pissed off about that. Like the targeted individual community that everybody said doesn't exist, right? Okay, well, we have a different issue with synthetic biology. Whitney mentions mRNA. That's not your biggest problem. If I were you, I'd be looking up human augmentation conferences on the Google or whatever. And I would be checking out 15 years at universities, not in deep underground bases, for something called human augmentation, which is also in the Agenda 2030 goals. That's why all the under the skin surveillance for load balancing body area networks. It's not just for pacemakers and the paraplegics. No. Interoperability with brain-computer interface, single brain to another human brain, full duplex, yeah, that's 2014. Single human brain to many human brains, oh, that's 2019. It's time to get caught up on what they're really doing with these body area networks, or your decision-making will be flawed, because they are not going backwards. They are going forwards with a requirement internationally called human augmentation. You can also find human augmentation at universities, like the University of Michigan, with their human augmentation projects, and many more. So that is what, in my opinion, given the different industry, business, and legal architecture that they've been doing, which for reasons none of us on the channel could understand, nobody would talk about, well, they've already augmented. We've read off some places in MDPI Sensor Journal from 2021 in which a multimodal body-machine interface, in which a soldier can take a vagal nerve stimulator, so it only works for 7 or 8 hours, and control drones, robot dogs, whatever, with their mind. No chip in their head. Okay? They're using a piece of human anatomy, and they have been this whole time, called the human biofield. It's in my biofield HHS videos. And that's the same human anatomy for next-gen air dominance when you're teaming with the drones. It's just your nervous system as a backbone network for the air or molecular communication to the other little wireless sensor networks and the drones. You have a vagal nerve stimulator with IITSEC, Air Force Research Laboratory, or an ingestible, an edible bioelectronic, like they use for the Abilify pills or endoscopy. And then it takes, just like they're showing in these articles, living tissue and makes it a transistor, makes it communicate to the wireless naturally with your own molecules. See, you could do that naturally if they were not already under your skin, perturbating your cell structure. This was the part of things nobody wanted to hear about. They didn't want to believe that anybody would be bothering their cell structure. Well, now you can purchase it with the HHS wearable or your Fitbit Or you can purchase the ability to be telepathic, brain-to-brain interface with companies. For over 10 years on the Amazon Start My Coffee Pot with My Mind, Fly My Little Hobby Drone with My Mind. Where's everybody been? Arguing about worthless things like Epstein and Diddy? How'd that turn out for you now?